Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first impressions of Agents Biohunters. This is just my personal opinions and what I think of the game so far, what I think needs to be done with it, and what could make it better, in my opinion. So, starting off, the driving is horrible. It does not feel good at all trying to drive around on this speeder bike thing, whatever it is. It just doesn't feel good at all. I don't like it. I think it needs to be completely reworked from the ground up. I think there's so much more that they could do with the driving when you've got other games that involve driving a vehicle that they could pull from. For example, Paladins, Realm Royale, Fortnite, whatever. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't feel good. It feels clunky. It feels slow compared to the size of the map. It feels like it takes forever to get anywhere on the map, and you run into absolutely everything. Now, the objective of the game is to destroy three damage locations on this giant monster that spawns into the game after about 5 minutes. Once the monster spawns into the game, you can go to the arena, you can start attacking it, the enemy team will start attacking it, and you're trying to destroy 3 points before they destroy 3 points. I don't like it. Just to be 100% honest, I don't like it at all. It feels like there's too much going on at one time because on top of that, you also have these other AI creatures that spawn before the big bad spawns into the game. So you go around, you destroy the small creatures. They drop these blue orbs. They give you experience. You use the orbs to build stuff, which we'll get into in a second. And then as you gain experience and stuff, you can unlock your abilities. So I think that at least the first level of all the abilities should be unlocked from the beginning of the game. You shouldn't have to kill stuff in order to unlock one ability and then kill more stuff to unlock another ability and kill stuff to unlock another ability. I do like the idea of upgrading your abilities so that you can use them, that they do more damage or whatever. I really didn't get enough time to play with it to see exactly what they did, but I thought that was a cool feature. Level up to increase your abilities, this, that, and the other. I think that that's fine. I think that these creatures that you fight are way too hard. I know that it's 3 versus 3 and you're supposed to work as a team, but and also fight the enemy team as a team, but I feel like the creatures are either unnecessary or they're way too hard. They should be a little bit easier and a little bit more manageable because they'll overwhelm you quick and you don't have a lot of health. And it's really hard to understand how the healing in the game works. There's healing drops on the map that you can go pick up, which is fine. But you also have characters that can heal, which are the tanks, I believe, which doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a tank and a healer be the same thing? It doesn't make any sense to me. So if you have your first set of abilities unlocked from the get-go, and they could tone them down even more than the first level in the game, but just have something to make it a little bit more fun, to make it a little bit more fluid whenever you're first starting out. Like I said before, the map is massive, and it's almost like unnecessarily massive because it's cool. I like the aesthetic. I like the art style and everything that's going on here with this game, and it's cool to explore the world. But the world's so big, and it's only 3 versus 3. If you're going to keep it this big, you need to make it 4 versus 4 at least, and you need to encourage synergy with your teammates as far as what class they pick and how they approach a situation. Because really, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of synergy. Yeah, you have tanks. Like one of them can deploy a personal shield, and one of them can deploy a big dome bubble shield thing. That's cool, I guess, but it doesn't really help your team out as much as it should. Now, buildable stuff. In my opinion, get rid of all of the stuff that you can build. Everything. I don't like it. I think it's unnecessary, and I think that it could be redone and worked into something better if you got rid of it. Because what's stopping you from going to the enemy spawn and building a whole bunch of turrets And yeah, it doesn't dismount you when you get shot, but it's still aggravating whenever you leave the spawn to get shot at with something. So what's stopping that from happening? Building barriers to keep yourself from taking damage. Okay, are we Fortnite or what? I don't understand the need for it. Also, the only way to win is to destroy the points on this monster, which I understand it is what it is, you know. But are we Monster Hunter or are we our own game? That's what I don't understand. Like, if I wanted to go destroy monsters with my friends, there's a free to play game that I can do that. So what makes me want to play this game? Now I think it's a cool idea to have a AI gigantic boss that you and your team and the enemy team are both trying to fight, but having it unlocked so early in the game and then that's the main objective doesn't make any sense. It's basically like who can get there first, what team can set up the most amount of cannons and all this other nonsense crap, and who can inflict the most damage on this thing before the time runs out. It doesn't have a good flow to it. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's missing something. So, I mean, the things that I would do differently is if you're going to have it be part MOBA, part hero shooter, part monster hunting game, it needs to be completely redesigned. I feel like there needs to be points on the map that are, it's kind of like domination. I used to play Call of Duty back in the day all the time, and domination was my favorite game mode. So you spawn into the game, you've got 3 points in the game that you are trying to capture. Whenever you capture 1 point, you kind of respawn there, whatever. But you also fight. All your fighting takes place at these points 90% of the time. So it gives you an objective to try to control or attack. It's really fun in my opinion for that game style, and I think something like that would work here. You spawn into the map, you have 3 points to control. You capture 1 point, the enemy team captures 1 point, and then you try to secure the middle point, or your team can go straight to their point and start a firefight, initiate a firefight there. If you need the AI small monsters in the game, then that's a perfect way to introduce them. If it's going to be more like a MOBA, just have them spawn as you capture these points and have them attack the enemy. Don't have them attack you, have them attack the enemy. And give it a point system. You gain points by playing it, right? That's how you win. That's how you do whatever you got to do. So you get points for capturing objectives and holding objectives and securing them. But you can also have the big AI monsters incorporated into it to where you're fighting against the enemy. This thing comes out at random times and starts attacking your base. Oh, well, what are we going to do? If it destroys the base, then let's say you're not able to cap points from there anymore. If it's random and it attacks randomly, then that would give you more incentive to fall back and try to defend your base. Meanwhile, the enemy can either fall back, they can help you, or they can hurt you. It's an interesting gameplay mechanic in my opinion. So I think it just needs to be completely redone. I think that there's more that they could do with this game, and I think that it feels kind of rushed and all over the place. If you guys have any opinions, let me know. Drop comments below. I tried to Frankenstein some footage together for this because for some reason when I was recording, my FPS was all over the place. It's a cobbled mess basically. But I wanted to get my opinions and thoughts on the game out there and let the developers know what I think. I filled out the Google Doc for it, and hopefully they'll take all that into consideration. At the core, there's a decent idea here, but it's not been executed correctly at all. But let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, check out my other videos. Later, guys.